Hello, this is Tim Law with Planet Forward Coaching and Self-Reliance You. Remember, your life, your goals, your dreams, and your career are all essential. Keep applying overall wisdom to everything you do. And also, if you have not yet, please sign up for my YouTube channel, Planet Forward Coaching. Would appreciate it very much. I have a guy here that I had as one of my wrestlers back up in Hancock, New York. And I'm going to give him a great shout out right now, an introduction here. But he was the guy when we finally beat Deposit in wrestling. He was the guy that was losing 9-6. I'll never forget this. This is over 3 decades ago. Turns around, pins a guy. He instantly had a 9-point swing in that match. And he lit the fuse and established all the mojo going forward. And we finally beat Deposit after being about 0-11 against them. So I'd like to introduce a good friend of mine, Tom Mattice. And Tom, go ahead, let's hear a little bit from you, and appreciate you being with us today.
Yeah, it was. It's funny. I was reflecting, getting ready for the conversation today, and it was about February or March of 1976 when I went to my first little guy wrestling tournament with you. And I remember it was a Saturday morning, and we dragged my reluctant mother out of bed to drive us to Whitney Point, New York. And so if you do the math on that, you and I have had a relationship for 45 years, and you played an instrumental role in where I am today, for sure.
Well, Tom, I don't know how two such young-looking guys can have this many trips around the sun. I just don't get it, you know. So, yeah, we have had a long, wonderful relationship, Tom. So, tell us a little bit about wrestling and sports. You know, the impact that those kinds of things had on you.
Yeah, wrestling, it definitely prepared me for the journey through life and where I am today, for sure. You always taught us to set goals and to work hard toward our goals, and I've never forgotten that. When we had wrestling practices, I found myself a lot of evenings after practices running through Hancock, New York at night. I found myself running to Lower Kenosha Road from where I lived on the other side of the river many nights just on my own. And you always instilled in us to go the extra mile and do whatever it takes to be successful. And just found it very something that I kind of do still today. We through college, through high school, into business, you get into situations in life, and you have to work hard and keep focused on your goals and focused on your dreams, and making sure that you're doing the things that you have to do to make those happen.
Sure, yeah, and you certainly did that, Tom. And you come from our great family there, and your wonderful sister Erica, and everything. And so as far as where you're living now, what you're doing, wife, kids, so on and so forth. But let us know where you're at here. Ironically, you're back up in my hometown in Rochester, New York. So
Yeah, we live just south of Rochester on Canisius Lake. My beautiful wife, Kim, of 29 years. We've been married. Her and I met in college, and had 3 wonderful sons. One is 26, one's 22, and one's soon to be 21. All working real hard and very successful in their own rights.
mhm.
So, I started out after college working in sales. And, when you're in sales, you have to be really self-motivated and driven. And I
Mhm.
had about a 20-year sales career, met a lot of great people, learned a lot. And we had the opportunity, my wife and I, 3 years ago, to buy an electrical engineering and automation company located in Rochester. It was one of my customers. He was looking to retire from the business. He started it in 1984, and it was a longtime customer of mine. And I convinced my wife to gamble everything that we had, and everything but our house. We put retirement and future and everything on the line to buy this company. And we closed on the business in November of 2017. And we were getting started and really immersing ourselves in the business. You know, she does the book side of things. I do sales, installations, all kinds of different things. You wear a lot of hats when you're running your own business. And a short 6 months later, she was diagnosed with cancer,
Mhm.
and she's battled cancer twice successfully in the last 2 years. And you know, you used to use the saying a lot, you know, somebody's tough as nails, and that lady, she is tough as nails. You know, raising three boys and battling cancer successfully 2 times. You know, hats off to her for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's a, certainly it's a big struggle, and obviously she had to have the, the right mindset along with, the right medical. I mean, it's a whole team effort to overcome something like that, Tom.
That's for sure. She had chemo twice, radiation. She's had in the first go around she had 8 surgeries, and in the second go around she had another surgery. So you know she's been through the ringer, and I guess when relating it back to sports and things like that, and doing whatever it takes. You know, we were new in the business, and she had this diagnosis, and we knew that we had to get her healthy again,
Mhm.
and we had to work through all of those things, and keeping a lot of juggling a lot of balls, keeping a lot of balls in the air, and making sure that they drop as few times as possible. So when I relate it to my own kids. When you're in school and you're trying to participate in sports, that's the first real opportunity that you have growing up to understand how to juggle all the different things that you have to juggle. You're juggling friends, you're juggling your homework, you're juggling your sport, and making sure that you're doing all the things that you have to do to be successful. And later on in life, you're juggling families, you're juggling your job, your career, and throw an unexpected illness in on top of it, and you just learn how to overcome all of those obstacles and keep everything in front of you at the same time.
Sure. Now, Tom, did she have some kind of a sports background?
Yeah, she played volleyball, and she's a great softball player.
Mhm.
We played softball, as adults after school, with a bunch of friends, and pickup leagues and things like that. So
Mhm. Yeah, what's interesting is, and I've said this on a couple of the other interviews that I've had, that this whole COVID thing this past year was obviously very, very challenging. But I've always felt that student athletes that get involved with sports or band, music, extracurricular things, school plays, it's almost like you have a little bit of a suit of armor on yourself emotionally, because you've been through a lot of those ups and downs of a particular sport or extracurricular activity, and it does give a certain advantage during a very tough time like we had, this past year. So obviously, her involvement with sports as well as yours, certainly had to help her quite a bit. Tell us a little more about your business, Tom, as far as how many people are working with you. Just kind of what you do there. You gave me a couple ideas the other day.
sure. So we own an electrical engineering and automation company. We support control systems in 21 states
Wow.
for large companies all over the country. The niche of the business is large scale industrial refrigeration.
Hmm.
Ammonia is the refrigerant that we work with the most. That's what we control. And so we take million square foot buildings and freeze them in places like Florida, for example. So
Wow. Wow.
food distribution is a big part of what we do. So companies like Wegmans in this area, Publix down in Florida, we do work for them. Ironically, you mentioned COVID a minute ago. We are building a control system right now for Pfizer that's going to a plant in Kalamazoo, Michigan,
Hmm.
that is for pharmaceutical manufacturing. We aren't privileged to know what the particular line is that we're building this control system for, but we're refrigerating brine solution for pharmaceutical manufacturing at the plant where the COVID vaccine is being manufactured currently.
Wow. Wow. That's certainly a big deal. That's for sure. And so, what is it? As far as some of the individuals that you look to, potentially hire, Tom, what are you looking for from them?
So we're controls and electrical engineering company. So controls engineers and electrical engineers are people that we look for. There's
Mhm.
also a component of the business that is uh, related to being an electricians, and
Mhm.
so that's where I originally got started a long time ago. When I left Hancock, I went to Alfred State College and
Mhm.
got an electrician degree first, and then got into engineering and on to business management after that. I actually finished a business management degree about 3 years ago, just before we bought the business
Mhm.
at night. And so, that was good. And incidentally, about the business, I wanted to throw out there too, this is a pretty neat project that we were just awarded just a couple of weeks ago. We are working with the Olympic Regional Development Agency, ORDA, and we're redoing the control system for all of the ice in Lake Placid. So
Wow.
we're doing
Wow.
the 1980 Miracle on
Miracle on
Ice
Ice.
Parade.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Greatest, greatest sports result I ever saw any sport was the 80 Olympics when our guys won that gold medal over the dominant Russians. That was just incredible. So that's very
yeah,
cool that you
yeah,
guys are doing that up there in Lake Placid. You got to be very, very proud of yourself and your team there.
yeah, yeah. So there's six of us in the company, and like I said, we support systems in 21 states, and we're looking for another controls engineer. So if there's a controls engineer out there that's looking for a really neat career, we're hiring.
Uh-huh. Good.
So got to find another person.
Yeah. Well, what I always try to do, Tom, with this is, I share and tag, the video with a number of different people. And if you do the same thing and, um, as well as, your sons or whatever, and they get it out there, you just never know, what could happen if somebody views this. So
Yeah. Yep.
absolutely. Absolutely. So what would be some of the tips and ideas, Tom, as far as teens and young adults, as we kind of, move through this a little bit here that you would like to impart as far as life lessons and that kind of thing.
Well, the biggest life lesson, I guess, that I would share, and that I guess you instilled in me, from a very young age is, and I think I've touched on it a couple of times, is being willing to do whatever it takes to be successful.
Mhm.
Whether that's putting extra time in with whatever, if it's a sport or a band instrument or anything like that, put that extra time in. And when you're feeling tired or you're feeling like you want to be done with it, just keep pressing on and keep pushing through. And those are the kinds of things that make you successful. There are countless times, throughout my career, and you know, as I've gotten older, that you have to put in that extra time in order to be successful. And as a business owner, it's the same way. So the principles that you learn young and in sports about putting in that extra time to succeed at what you're doing will translate throughout the rest of your life.
Sure, sure. Well, and with the challenge that we had, with wrestling, whether it's the scrimmaging or the drills or the rope climbing or running the stairs and everything, you know, we we really pushed you guys hard, and it certainly did pay off. And and again, I've always said, 1 out of 8,000 people will make the major leagues in baseball. Okay, to me, the biggest thing, Tom, are the life lessons, the lifelong lessons for the vast majority of us. Hey, if you've got the talent to make the major leagues and something great or the Olympics, awesome. But the biggest advantage are the life lessons of persistence. You get knocked down, you get back up. You just refuse to quit. You try, different ways to, go over, go around, go through whatever you have to do to, reach the goal that you want to hit.
Yeah, it's a great way to put it. Go over, around, or through, and
Mhm.
and you just have to never quit. It's you always have to keep finding a way. Instead of listening to negativity in people or in your own mind, you just have to keep finding a way to find a solution. It's not that I can't do this. It's how can I do something differently
Mhm.
in order to succeed or get through the obstacle that you're faced with at that point.
Sure, sure. And any last second thoughts here, Tom, before we kind of wrap things up? And please, when we're done, just stick around because I'll stop the recording. We'll chat right afterwards too. But any last second thoughts here that come to mind, and how people could, for example, get a hold of you. Let's get that out there in case, an electrical engineer sees this.
Yeah.
What's the
So
best way for them to reach you?
our website is uetcontrols.com. There's a link for email, sales@uetcontrols.com. That comes directly to me, or my email is tom@uetcontrols.com as well. That's probably the easiest and simplest way for anyone to get a hold of us. Check out our website, kind of see what we do. There's a lot of information there about the projects that we tackle and how we implement these control systems.
Okay, fantastic. So I appreciate this very much, Tom. This has been great, and we will definitely, stay in touch with each other. Okay.
Sounds great.
Okay.
Take
And
care.
again, just
Thanks,
just
Doug.
a quick reminder, please sign up for my YouTube channel, Playing It Forward Coaching. Be much appreciated. And Tom, thank you so very, very much, and hang around here for just a little bit afterwards. Okay.
Will do.